Okay, hello, and welcome to College Composition 2. Let me make my ugly mug big for a minute. Hello, I am Steve. Many of you I know already, and many of you I'm going to be working with for the first time this semester, which is extremely exciting. So for those new people, here's generally what I look like and how I sound. I'm not real big on the whole having my face on screen type thing, but there are going to be times where I want to make some sort of eye contact with you in this one. So uh, forgive me for keeping that little distraction in the corner. This is the first in what will be many screencasts that you watch. And if I could talk about the screencasts just for a moment before we jump into week one and sort of how we're getting set up for this class, let me tell you that there are many students who watch every screencast that I make, and they take what they learn in those screencasts and apply those things to their writing and to their work for me. The students are almost uniformly successful students. Uh, there are, I'm sorry to say, students who, let me think about how to put this nicely, who don't find themselves with the time or the motivation, I'm not sure, to sit through my screencasts, the longest of which are 15 minutes. A typical video length like that. Those students, some are still able to be successful because I do try to give a lot of specific tips and teaching materials in text as well, and all the weekly agendas and the materials, assignments, etc. that I share with you. Some students who don't watch my screencasts, they can be successful. Many are not. When you don't watch my screencasts, you miss out on usually pretty important stuff that is sometimes found elsewhere, but sometimes not found anywhere else but in the screencast. You're expected to watch them. Don't watch them at your own risk. Again, you can watch them in chunks, pause, pick it back up. I put them all on YouTube, as I'm sure you're learning now. So you can resume them pretty easily. You don't have to sit through all of them all at once. That would be terrible for everybody involved. But please devote the appropriate amount of time to watching screencasts, especially if you're going to be a student who wants to send me lots of questions, of a clarifying nature, let's say, and all the clarifications that you are seeking are already found in, say, my screencasts. That's not going to make you my favorite student, and you don't have to be my favorite student, but I want you to be my favorite student. So on that note, let's get into what's going on this week. Let's see. Can I hide myself here? Okay. I think I'm hiding now. Okay. So personal digital technology, College Comp 2 is a thematic class, and many instructors spend a lot of time thinking hard about the theme that they want to apply to their class, and I'm no different. And for me, it's these three words: personal digital technology. So basically, the screens we look at. I mean, I could use screens as my theme, but personal digital technology, I think, is a slightly more academic dressing up of that idea. So you're going to be thinking about sort of macro big issues, America's relationship to technology, which are also going to be very much micro as well, and thinking about your own personal technologies or the use of those close around you. That's the big theme for the class is technology, and basically the notion of being connected and plugged in all the time. Something that sets College Comp 2 off from College Comp is you do a tiny little skosh of primary research in College Comp. You're going to do a lot more than that in this class. So primary research, you're going to see for yourself. How do I want to teach primary research really quickly? If you say I'm a history buff, I love reading books about history, about wars and leaders, that sort of thing. You can learn from two different ways, I think, when you want to learn about history, and I think this applies to what we're going to do in this class. One, you can learn from historians who can look back and gather information, compile statistics, analyze battle strategies, or cabinet picks, all those sorts of things, and has sort of the long view of history, the long lens of history, in order to make sense of the subject matter. And that's really what secondary research is for us, collecting data and stats and outside studies, expert opinions, that sort of thing. So what primary research does in this ongoing sort of war analogy is it focuses more on the diaries of the soldiers who served on the field, or the generals who made the decisions themselves, or the leaders who were in the room when that decision got made, that sort of thing. It's primary, it's right there, it's directly involved in the creation of the subject. And it's exciting stuff. You're going to do a lot of this. You're going to be out in the field quite a bit in this class that we'll be talking about here in a minute anyway. It's never too early to say this, but you're going to collect a lot of data. It's more important that you make sense of the data and use it to form an argument than it is to just say, well, here's what I found. I'm not interested in you just providing raw data to me. It's your job to explain to me the implications of the raw data and how it informs the argument that you're trying to make. So this word argumentative or rhetorical is going to become very important for the rest of the semester. What else can I tell you here? Maybe a good pause point about 6 minutes in for you. So if you want to pause, go right ahead. Most of you are, what am I trying to say? You're high school students, or at least you're taking a college class in high schools. It's kind of a complicated way to look at it. A few of you are not, and you're fine. You're supposed to be in this class as well. But most of you are College Credit Plus students. And so you just need to know a couple of these things really quick. And so I'm not going to belabor them too much. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm going to be a little bit tougher to get a hold of because I teach face-to-face. Okay, so that doesn't mean I'm impossible to get a hold of, but you're going to find that when you send me an email, I get back to you pretty lightning quick. And the only time that's really not going to be true is going to be less true on Tuesday and Thursday mornings. So you just need to hang loose just a little bit for me. And if you do sign up for Kick, that's something I can easily answer on my phone as well. Classroom visits, some classes like me to visit them a lot, twice at least. Some don't need me to visit at all. So it depends on what kind of class you are. I know what kind of class many of you are, but not all. Let's get this clear. You're a Stark State student as far as this class is concerned, and you're an online student. The fact that you're in a high school and the fact that you have a supporting teacher, or you can print stuff out, that's nice, but it's immaterial to how we are going to approach my class. All right, and what does this look like? What does it mean? No due date moving for snow days. Now, Stark State very rarely has snow days, but if they do, that's something we can maybe talk about a little bit, since all the other, since I'm not supposed to sort of work or, be on campus during snow days. But if your high school has, closed, especially like on a Monday, that's your problem. That's not my problem. So don't expect me to give you extensions. Your school spring break does nothing to my deadlines. I have 7 schools this semester. You all have 7 different spring breaks. So we'll do our best. I will do my best to be a reasonable guy about this. But our spring break is March 11th through the 19th, and we will be treating it as such. So you do get a week off in class from me, but it's these dates and not any other. And then these are sort of slightly more personal things. If you're going if you're going on college visits, or you have field trips of some sort, or sports commitments, I can't let it affect your work in College Comp 2. If you got to know me as a person more, you would know that I'm actually a pretty reasonable guy that you can pretty much reason with on almost anything. And I used to take that attitude into College Credit Plus classes. And frankly, the supporting teachers that I'm lucky enough to work with, they were not as big a fan of those sorts of policies. And so I was asked to not be like that anymore. And so as much as it pains me, I can't move due dates. I cannot be sympathetic to any of your situations. This extends out to sort of illnesses and all sorts of other things. And speaking of illnesses, your senioritis, I promise I'm not going to care about it. I try to front load the class, actually. I try to make the back end of our class easier than the front half, let's say, so that if you are feeling, early signs of senioritis, you won't have too much to do. So that makes me even less patient when you don't do those few things. So just FYI, I know it's January. Let's see. Okay, I use Google Chrome. Okay, so you're watching the screencast. So every weekly agenda is going to have at least one due date on it. Sometimes there'll be multiple, especially when drafts are coming in and you have to do peer review or post to a spreadsheet, that sort of thing. So every weekly agenda is going to have a due date on it. And our due dates are generally going to be, for the big stuff, they're going to be 9 a.m. On Mondays. Okay, you have syllabus here. You have a condensed supplement that we can maybe glance at for a second. I feel like this screencast is going to be a two-parter. Uh-oh. All right, so the basics. This is a college class. I don't want to get into this too much. Did we freeze? I think we froze. Oh, there we go. Well, I mean, you're all big boys and girls. You can read all this on your own. Be responsible online in your online behaviors. Uh, there's no such thing as late work because I'll have access to everything through Google Drive. Don't bother me about grades. I tend to be a pretty quick grader as well. Oh, if any of you see this 10 should be a 7. I'm sorry, it used to be 10, now it's 7. Um, let's see. So, yeah, I got to make some changes to that. All right, so the condensed supplement is there, and hopefully it'll be helpful. Set up your Google Drive folder. I've already gotten a few new students that have done that, so thank you. It's just you click on this link here and follow the instructions, and do it. If I don't have your Google Drive folder, I'm giving you zeros on everything that you miss. That's not fun for either of us, I don't think. So make sure you share your Google Drive folder with me. If I can show you here, you will become in this big list of people. See, there's my Google Drive for all my students. Some have gone away this semester, and I will be adding others. But I need you in that list. That's where I do all my grading. All of your assignments will be in there. Let's see. Kick is an app that basically students that were in my class last year told me about that they use the most. So if there's some other app that you all are using now to use, have sort of anonymous group chats with, do you want my phone number? Do I want your phone number? Not necessarily. So Kick is a nice way to circumvent those issues and still be able to reply to each other on phones. I basically answer my emails through my phone as quickly as I get them. So it's not necessary, but some people like a little extra tech in their classes. So let's do some editing and action here. All right, personal introductions, spreadsheets. Let's see if anybody's done it already. All right, so Kaylee and Daniel, both students who are at Stark State. So you can put your high school here. That would really help if you put your high school in this column. And basically what you do is you make some sort of online presentation. It doesn't have to be Google Slides like mine is, but it's a fine program for this. We're just sharing pictures and stuff. So tell me a little bit about yourself, that's all. What do you want us to know about you? Let's see, there's me, my professional info. Ooh. What happened here? Those are my running stats, let's see. Yeah, personal info, you can read all this on your own. I'm a big time runner. If you are too, let me know. We can bore each other to death talking running. There's my beautiful family. That is everything in the world to me. My wife is also a professor. So we are lucky enough to travel to Florida every winter or every summer for a good chunk of time. And so our kids are getting very spoiled rotten at the beach, which is a wonderful thing. But my daughter's in kindergarten. My son is starting, he's in preschool. So it's a fun time. We have very, very loud mornings. It's really hard to get out the door sometimes. But anyway, that's a little bit about me. And I'm looking forward to learning, a little bit about you as well. So you will do that. Please make sure that you do the share button, okay, up here. Oh, I have it hidden. Use the blue share button to fetch the link and post it if you're using Google Slides. We'll see who's lazy and who's not. I have a guide to writing that is basically a Medium site. I like Medium for my micro blogging, I guess, let's say. So anyway, again, you're bigger, you're grown people. You can read all this on your own. But these are like little tips that I don't want to have to say out loud all the time to you, or at least in the comments of your essays. And so if I can spell all these things out and just make you responsible for them, well, then we're both saving each other a lot of time. So read these carefully. If anything is confusing to you, please let me know. Stay the heck away from this word, from the word you. All right, I want nothing to do with it in any of your papers. And as soon as I see one in your paper, I realize that you haven't seen this particular guide to writing that took me quite a bit of time to construct. And that doesn't set us down the best path. So, okay, I'm going to stop this this screencast and I'm going to make another one. So stay tuned for items 7 through however many we have left.